and the visiting referees do not like rolling out to the Darth Vader theme song.
Which is a bummer.
So, and that's what I said, but I said, okay, I won't play anything.
Fine, no Imperial March for y'all.
Then I said I could switch to, I fought the law and the law won. And they're like, where's the law? I'm like,
You kind of are in this case.
so then I said, well, I can, let's go to Snowman and get that guilty about this. 3:45 Saturday. Maybe you want to do them or?
I'll let you do it. I want to see if I can hear you through these or not. If not, I have the other cord and I can take out the splitter for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for game number something. This is the 3:45 game. We're going to be seeing the Boulder County Devils in black. They're going to be going head-to-head with the Pixie roller derby team in white. So they're coming onto the track. It looks like gear checks have already been done. Our referees for this one are calling them fairly: Saren Gass, Noah Fallon, Radar, Backslash, Vonnie, Lollipop'em, T-Rebel Maker, Whamdolph, Romp, Sujo, Colonel Skirts, D-Rex, Mr. Nitro, Kiss Off, Punky Bruiser, Cold Genie, and Data. My name is Salty Bear, and I'm up here with...
Struggling to find the button, up here with Eve Seiko.
All right, we won't call her struggling to find the button too much, but just maybe a couple times.
You know, it is, nap time on a Saturday. And that sound means we're about to get started with the game. Out on the jammer line, we have number 3 for the Pixies. That is Lil Miss Savage against number 07, Periwinkle. Lil Miss Savage out for lead and approaching the pack quickly. But in hot pursuit, a bit of a late call off there. We hear Savage yelling for call it, call it. And on the scoreboard, we have 1 point for the Pixies and goose egg for Boulder County Devils. This is anyone's game, as you might have guessed, but we're expecting a pretty furious matchup today.
All right, folks, we've got the live feed up and going, so if you want to give shout-outs, we've got shout-outs from Rebecca to the Pixies, Alex to Boulder, another one for Pixies. So here we go. We're going to start off with the Battle of the Eights. This is Ace of Blades going up against Powerhouse. Powerhouse is out first. Ace of Blades is trying to get their feet under them, getting cycled back by Sugar and Spite. Powerhouse cuts a bunch of speed coming in. Powerhouse slides through backwards and gets through there. They're sitting back there. They're not going any further. They're going to drop back to defense, it looks like, and just kill time.
Little bit of jammer-on-jammer violence there.
I think we're going to see Pixies try to do exactly that, get lead jam, get the 4 points, and then stall, or not stall, but lengthen out the clock a little bit.
Which is funny because in the game this morning, they were definitely running up the jams in that second half. They got to, 26?
They had a very active morning. Wasatch and the Pixies go back a long way. We have battled each other every year I've been around. So I'm sure they want to get payback here and there.
And we do have a star pass here to the pivot for Boulder County. We can't see their number, but they are fighting there at the back of the pack against the opposing jammer and a wall.
It looks like it's Black Diamond who got that. That was 313. They did get the star pass. They didn't get to make any hay, and they ran the clock out.
And the Pixies add 4 points to the scoreboard, bringing it to 0 for Boulder County, 5 for Pixies.
All right, Pixies, you got a shout out from SoCal Skate Fam. And one from Patricia.
Out on the line, we have number 108, Tiger Strike for Boulder County against number 000, Trisket. Trisket pushing up at the front, going against the pivot, getting recycled slightly, being stymied by some excellent work by the Boulder County pivot. I can't see their number from here, but they are nuking that jammer. We've got at the back of the pack, struggling against that stern wall, and we have Trisket out for lead. And, that pivot doing all that wonderful work, Rebel Scum. And as Trisket comes up to engage again, Scum out there just turning on the phasers to kill, but jumping the apex and now going to the top to play some defense. We have Trisket hanging at the top. Still initial for Boulder County's jammer.
Of course, you just made a cross Star Trek reference will upset half the nerds out there.
I would never. I mean, it's all space lasers. It's good. We've got a star pass to the Boulder County pivot. That is number 13, Rebel Scum. Struggling against that same fearsome Pixies wall, getting knocked to the inside and drawn back. And we've got, oh, here we go. Trisket is calling it. Was just kind of hanging in the pack there.
And then we do have a couple of shout outs to Striking Viking and Sugar and Spice. Nick and Jane, I'm going to go with 208, both saying, giving you guys shout outs.
Do you need your reading glasses today, Kevin?
It's a Utah spelling of a name, and it's Jamie.
Oh, so it's tragedy.
Maybe it's Jamie. Jamie, I'm not sure. So here we go. Black Diamond lining up against Karma. They're in each other's pocket. Whistle blows. Karma goes to the inside. Black Diamond trying. And nice move by Black Diamond. They had that figured out. They were going to let Karma open the hole and squirt right through there. Good gamesmanship. Karma won't be denied. Is right in the hip pocket of Black Diamond. Black Diamond loses the advantage. They get back up into the pack. And oh, big hit by Powerhouse.
That was a bit of a foot race there. Geez, the speed.
I'm not sure if Powerhouse, I didn't see a penalty. I don't see Powerhouse skating. Nope, they're going to the bench.
And it looks like Boulder County is getting on the board with 3 points.
All right, Boulder, first points of the evening for here.
Out for the Devils, we have Periwinkle, number 07, going up against a familiar face there. That is number 9, Brutal Beauty. We have a bit of a scrum pack there starting to spread out. We hear a ref's whistle. Looks like there's a multiplayer called on a Devils player. And the Pixies are out for lead. Oh no, and we have a cut track penalty being assessed to Periwinkle, which is giving a power jam to the Pixies.
Not what the Pixies needed, nor the Devils, but nonetheless, they're going to make hay out of it, and they get 4, and they're going to start the next one with a power start.
With almost a full 30 seconds on that power start, it's a really wonderful opportunity for their jammer who's coming out, which is, what is that name? That is Viking.
I won't be able to recognize Striking Viking because the way I recognize them is by their horns on their helmet. Now with a star, I can't pick them out. So
fair.
Striking Viking coming out there for the power jam.
We've got a tripod setup with one of them kind of floating back, and you see some immediate offense and an easy lead jam call for number 14. Striking Viking coming around, looking to the bench, just looking very zen coming around against that pack. We have the Devils defense knocking Viking out, doing a bit of a drawback as Powerhouse for for Pixies doing a drawback. We have the Boulder County jammer back on the track, working against Powerhouse at the back, covering laterally the entire track. We're seeing some fantastic swarming offense in there, but just not making a lot of headway yet for Periwinkle. And Striking Viking calls the jam before approaching the pack with a total of 4 points on that jam for the Pixies, bringing it to 19 Pixies, 3 Devils.
All right, the Pixies send out Firecracker. They're going to go head-to-head with 888. That is Ace of Blades. A lot of lateral movement. Neither jammer getting the advantage yet. Ace of Blades pushes the pack forward a little bit. Runs into Gold Rusher. Gold Rusher pushes him out. And they're going to, a forearm. I thought it was going to be a cut track.
That is not what the Devils need right now.
No, the Devils need to play perfect derby and clean derby. Pixies get a power jam. Firecracker comes right in there. Slams into Rebel Scum.
It's a good thing they do get 7 penalties, though. Pretty soon, that jammer will be back on the track, and you never know, the tides could turn.
Nice lateral spinning movements going through there for Firecracker. They call it off with the jammer stuck in the box but standing.
That's going to be the 3rd jam that this jammer is in the box for. So it looks like we have number 8, Powerhouse, coming out for the Pixies to jam. Powerhouse is going to have maybe 5 seconds to get through that pack, because when the jammer's standing, you only have 10 seconds left. On the track, we have a full contingent of blockers for each side. The whistle goes, and we see Powerhouse taking the middle, the Pixies pulling back and letting that offense happen. And completely missing the Boulder County jammer, who is now lead.
That was a nice move, getting shot right out of the box. Full head of steam, well rested is Ace of Blades.
That element of surprise cannot be undersold. And we have a power jam in favor of Boulder County, with Powerhouse going to the box. And the whistles are flying fast and furious. Oh no, we have the Boulder County jammer going back to the box. So we will have a jammer switch out.
I remember an adult skater that was getting a lot of forearm penalties because as they skated up to the pack, they were moving their forearms. And that's just something they got to correct, and now they don't do it anymore. So
and we've got a beautiful apex jump there by number 8, Powerhouse. This jam is going to go the full 2 minutes because lead was lost by the Boulder County Devil Jammer.
And it's a battle of 8s as we got 8-8-8 against 8.
A lot of beautiful pack work there. We've got number 57 there trying to play some offense. That is Bug, trying to make it so their jammer isn't getting squashed against the line. And we have a star pass to number 313. That is Black Diamond. Black Diamond fighting their way up through the front of the pack. With that, Pixies wall just recycling so quickly. And again, we have number 8, Powerhouse, the Pixies jammer, at the front, just kind of waiting to catch and intercept that other jammer should they make it out.
The Pixies play incredibly well, good derby for having a short team. They all feed off each other and play really well.
Honestly, the power of cohesion is so useful in this sport. And, you know, not for nothing, number 313, that Black Diamond is going against what I would call a double Black Diamond wall. It's not an easy one.
It is not moving much. So here we go. We're 10 minutes in. We got 19 more to go.
Just in this half.
Just in this half. We got another half of derby, and then after this we have one more game today. I've seen Saren out there almost all the time. I imagine her legs are getting a little tired. We'll see.
You know, it's not a tournament if Saren isn't out there almost every game. On the jammer line, we had number 108 for Boulder County. That is Tiger Strike. Going against number 426, Ace Hard Scare. And Ace is your lead jammer. We've got the captain for the Pixies going to the box, and the Boulder County jammer still working against number 1849. That is Gold Rusher holding down the line. And another familiar play, we see that Pixies jammer in the wall acting as yet another blocker. Just one more for that Boulder County Devils jammer to have to fight through. Some beautiful side-to-side side surfing happening there, almost getting out. Looks like may have taken a little hit to the face, but still kicking. We've got the star off, and it looks like they're trying to find their pivot, but that pivot is being isolated very well. But, oh, I speak too soon. That is the announcer's curse. We have a successful star pass and a call off.
Rebel Scum can be sneaky sometimes. That's why they're Rebel Scum.
You know, I mean, I wonder what their accuracy is at about 3 feet. Can they hit a Womp Rat? The result of that jam being we bring the Pixies up to 31 points with the Devils still sitting at 3. And the Devils call a timeout, so we're going to have about a minute here for the skaters to rest, regroup, chat with their coaches, and for our officials to visit the watering hole in the middle of the track.
Now, we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors for tonight's evening. We've got Lori Tolbert Catering, who's supplying all the food for the officials and volunteers. The Pie Pizzeria, Utah's best pizza, plain and simple, making pizzas for over 40 years. They donated pizzas last night. And Einstein's Bagels donated bagels this morning to us. We all appreciate that. And 187 Killer Pads is always nice enough to give us a discount on our pads.
Honestly, bagels are one of the reasons to officiate a tournament. Who doesn't love free food?
Free food is the best food.
Coming up, if you're looking for more Derby, on February 15th, Uinta Roller Derby is going to be hosting the annual Mardi Gras bout. There will be prizes. There will be a fantastic game. You won't want to miss it. In March, Wasatch will have a home team game introducing their new home team players and names. You'll want to stick around for that, too.
All right, heading out there is going to be 3-1-3. That is Black Diamond going head-to-head with Karma. Black Diamond gets cycled back by Sugar and Spite. Karma's out, got lead jammer status, coming around fast and furious. Now we have a power jam as we see Black Diamond head into the box.
Along with the pivot for Devils. So they're working with a smaller blocker contingent against a jammer who already has lead and all the time in the world.
Maybe it gives them a few seconds to strategize. No, Karma calls it off before that.
Yet again, icing the jammer for the opposing team in the box, along with the pivot.
We also like to give a special shout out to Canyon Sports Therapy. Canyon Sports Therapy was there earlier today, taping up a lot of the junior ankles and knees and that needed to be taped up. So a special shout out to Canyon Sports Therapy. We appreciate them donating their time and tape.
We always hear that the secret is youth, and I think it might just be KT tape. On the jammer line, we have number 27. That's Firecracker for the Pixies, starting with a power start. We've got some excellent defense there, having from number 13, Rebel Scum. I feel like I'm going to wear their name out in this game. Some beautiful work, but the Pixies are your lead jammer. We have number 82, the pivot release from the box. And quickly coming in, we have number 313, sneaking on the inside, but taking a brutal hit. Oh, that was no, that wasn't even Powerhouse. Was that Brutal Beauty delivering that hit? Yes.
And I think with both these teams skating under the 15, you're going to see a lot of names over and over again because they got to do dual duty here. When you only got 10 or 12 skaters, you got to put them out there. They got to play, and next group out.
It means those timeouts are going to be more important than ever in strategy and giving your players a break. We've got the Pixies jammer going against number 57 and number 82 for the Devils, creating a fearsome twosome at the front of that pack. Beautiful tractor trailer work. We have the jammer for the Devils, looking a little winded, little tired, but receiving some offense there from a fellow blocker and from their pivot. Pushing against that grinding wall. They're moving maybe an inch a second and a lot of spills and chills. There's a definite gravity issue in that corner of the track. We see the star off and looking for the pivot, trying to find it. Looking a little confused and frustrated, but taking advantage of that and running up the inside line. Pack moving at a high speed, and gosh, those ankles are flexible. That was terrifying looking. But number 313 is still your jammer, still trying to fight through that pack, which also includes that Pixies jammer. It looks like the Pixie jammers all just want to play defense today.
Yeah, once they break through, get their 4 points, they certainly turn around and go back to defense, which is clearly a strategy.
You know, nickel and diming will eventually make bank.
That looks like a little more adult derby. Juniors tend to run the pack and things like that. It seems like adult derby when they're doing the 4 point stop. Oh, now we have an official review or official timeout.
Official timeout.
Official timeout. So when we have an official timeout, it's an excellent time to get up, move around, go over. Once again, we say we have visiting teams that brought their merch. Support local roller derby by buying merch from other teams. It helps out. They bring their merch here with you to sell it, get rid of it. And also, I know all these teams have to pay for rent, electricity, places to play, because we all know that the cities can't give us places to play.
We're not salty at all. No, no, no.
No, just a promise. Just a promise. It's okay. Everybody voted.
For those who don't know, we actually here in Salt Lake had a public campaign, and we were voted to be taking over the Bees Stadium here downtown, and apparently that's not going to happen. So if you hear any bitterness in our voices, that might be a little clue why.
And there's a lot of that in Utah where the people vote for something and then the legislation says, no, we're going to do something completely different. Welcome to Utah, folks.
We've got a little bit of fancy footwork happening out there during this official timeout. Everyone balancing on one skate on one axle. You know, like you do when you're just hanging out.
Things you do to twist an ankle.
It's that KT tape. It's making sure they can do all these fancy little footwork moves. Looks like the refs may be having a very intense discussion over here. Figuring out, I can't tell, but there's a lot of interesting hand gestures. We're at about a 2-minute on the official timeout, hopefully starting the game again soon. We have the Pixies sitting at 39 points against the Devils at 3 points.
Well, once again, I always say, I don't mind the referees taking timeouts because the important part of this is getting the score right, getting the calls right. If referees are seeing something, they take a minute to gather together, make sure, because they recognize that these kids have put too much time in, and actually any skater has put too much effort into skating, that you want to make sure all the points count. You also want to make sure that all the calls are being made the same way across the board, so you're not calling them one way or the other. And that's what I appreciate about roller derby. The referees will take a minute to talk to each other to make sure they're all squared away. So here we go. Once again, Periwinkle's going to go head-to-head with Sugar and Spite. Sugar and Spite is already out there making everything nice. Periwinkle trying to move laterally back and forth.
That hip flip was so beautiful on that outside, so quick. And we have number 26, Sugar and Spite, coming around for the first scoring pass. And it looks like the Devils might not have seen them coming. There was a big open lane on the inside. So the Pixies pull in another 8 points on this jam, bringing them to 47, with the Devils still sitting at 3. Out here on the jammer line, we have number 82 for the Devils. That is Twinkle Toes, hopefully living up to the name, against number 3, Little Miss Savage for Pixies, who is your lead jammer. And a toe stop has been lost. It looks like it came from Twinkle Toes. You know, what are toe stops for? You don't need them.
I'm glad Twinkle Toes and Periwinkle aren't out there at the same time, because that name would mess me up every time.
It would just be the Twinkle Wall. It's fine. And it looks like Twinkle Toes may not realize that toe stop has come out. We've seen them try to put the toe stop down a couple of times. Fortunately, in this case, the jam is called, so they'll have a chance to fix their skates at the bench.
New parents will always say, why do the toe stops come out? And I said, because they're twisting on them. So they're always unscrewing them every jam or every time they move. They don't stop on their toe stops, they pivot on them.
Honestly, that's why you need to be able to turn in both directions, because then, yeah, you're unscrewing the toe stop some, but you're also screwing it back in. It's balance, really.
So here we go, number 8, Powerhouse going head-to-head with 108, Tiger Stripe. A lot of 8s out there again. Tiger Strike. Powerhouse pushing forward, trying to rotate around. They get shoved out of bounds by the Devils. They cycle them back. And it looks like one more to beat on Tiger Strike. Now the Pixies form in front of Tiger Strike.
Tiger Strike has already been declared lead. They did pass the hips of everybody else there, but they are reabsorbed and stuck in that pack. So their lead, they could call it in any moment, but right now I think they're just focusing on surviving and getting through that tough Pixies wall.
Now Powerhouse has broken loose and he's coming back around. He's going to tiptoe along the tulips and gets in there.
I thought Twinkle Toes was in the last jam. Clearly all these kids have some fancy footwork and twinkle toes of their own.
They do. They will all run on their toes like I can run on my feet. I'm amazed to watch them do it, but they do it all the time. 11 minutes left in this half.
As a skater, I can confirm a question we've heard before is, does it hurt? Yes, most of us are missing toenails or have various bruises that you may not see. This is a real sport. This is a tough sport. And these juniors are some incredible athletes that we have out here. We have Black Diamond, number 313, going out for the Devils against number 13, Glitter Bomb for the Pixies, who scores a quick lead running up that inside lane. Diamond being recycled back by 1849. That's Gold Rusher. The out of play being called and giving Diamond a chance to gain some speed and come up against that Pixies wall, but there is a solid stop. But we see a direction call being called on one of the Pixies blockers, which is going to be one less person for Diamond to have to fight against. We've got number 13, Rebel Scum, in there trying to play a little bit of offense and clear that line. But honestly, they are so quick at reforming. It makes it very difficult to exploit those channels and get out of the pack. But what will help is another penalty being called to the Pixies, so a bit of a micro pack. And we've got Diamond out and on a scoring pass. And like we've seen before, we have that Pixies jammer in the pack and a jump by Diamond. I'm not sure if they cleared it. They're questioning if they were in, and oh no. It looks like their toe stop must have touched out of bounds because they just received a track cut. This gives a power jam to the Pixies.
I think Black Diamond was used to a home team bout as they look back at the referee for did I make it, and then on a travel team bout, they're not going to let you know what happened. Home team, they'll educate you, they'll tell you you're safe, you're good, but in a travel team bout, Noah...
And you know, trying to read Noah Fallon's face, all you see is beard. You may not be able to discern, is that a twinkle in his eye? Is that a smile? Was I in? You just got to hope you were, or be cautious and do that run back and draw back in to avoid the track cut penalty. We have a timeout being called by the Pixies.
Now, in fairness, I've never seen Noah smile with stripes on. I have seen him smile without his stripes on. But with his stripes on, stoic.
You know, that's the professionalism we've come to
Absolutely.
appreciate. We have about 9 minutes left in this first half of gameplay. The score currently sits at 67 Pixies, 3 Devils.
And once again, even a little thing like getting the timeouts called right for the team. Wamdorf spent a minute, ran right over here, said, hey, no. One team called it on the first one, the other team called it on the second one, so they could adjust the timeouts. That's how important it is to the referees to make sure every little nuance of this sport is called right.
And all of these machinations and different roles of everybody, it's such an intricate situation that without these officials and without these volunteers, we couldn't have roller derby here.
You love to boo them, but you can't play without them.
At least not with any semblance of cohesion. Number 8 out there, Powerhouse, on a power start, is your lead jammer.
If we took the referees away, we would just call it hockey.
Being a lover of hockey, I don't think that's the worst. They have refs in hockey.
Yeah, but I played hockey for many years, trust me. This would turn into a scrum.
You know, rugby, hockey, it's all good. Coming out of the box, we have that jammer. That was number 313, Black Diamond. Before able to even clear the pack, we have the call-off by Powerhouse, adding 8 points to the jam, bringing the Pixies to 75 points. The Devils still sitting at 3.
1849 is my jammer.
And we're seeing a new face out here on the jammer line for the Pixies. That's number 1849, Gold Rusher, going up against number 07, Periwinkle. And a quick lead picked up for the Pixies. We have a lot of dancing happening at the jam line here. Lateral movement. Periwinkle just moving so quickly, but those Pixies are just a hair quicker. Beautiful toe stop pop and a quick call off from the Pixies. We are really seeing this nickel and dime strategy being used against teams. We saw it with Wasatch this morning also.
I think Gold Rusher didn't want to call that one off. He did, though, and he looked up and he said, oh, shoot.
Well, and
But-
he's back on the line. Clearly, he did not get enough out of that jam. So Gold Rusher is out there up against number 888, Ace of Blades for the Devils. A lot of jostling on the line. The jammers take opposite sides. Gold Rusher getting out on the inside. A huge takeout there by number 8 Powerhouse against Blades. And a very long drawback. We've got the pack up here, and it looks, I would say, almost out of play back here. That strong defense at the back, not even letting the Devils jammer engage with the actual wall. Just some beautiful one-on-one play and a huge sternum hit there from Butyl Beauty. And a call off from Gold Rusher, bringing another 8 points for the Pixies and no points added for the Devils.
They took a lot of hits out there, and they got no points for it. That's okay, but that's Derby for you.
You know, we can just hope that there are some very interesting or cool photos or video of that moment, because nothing looks cooler than being like, hey, look at this huge hit. I didn't die.
I used to think that skaters didn't like seeing the wrecks, and then I found out, oh no, they like to see the wrecks.
My favorite photo of myself playing Derby. I am definitely not doing well.
All right, and starting off, we got Periwinkle breaking out of the box quickly. Sugar and Spite still stuck in there, now gets released. Periwinkle catches up to the pack, is trying to maneuver through there. Sugar and Spite coming around, looks at an opening, has an opening on the inside, takes a leap. Rebel Scum put a shoulder out there to try to slow him down. Oh no, we're saying a cut track. I see right there at the last minute, there was a cut track call.
Against the Pixies, so this is exactly what the Boulder County Devils need. They added 2 points in that jam, bringing their total to 5, and they're getting a power start with a familiar face out there, Black Diamond. But they do have 3 Pixie blockers there, ready to try and make sure they can't get lead again.
So now Boulder realizes they're in a power jam and breaks off into a power start, and they figure out what they want to do. It looks like they want the inside, and now
We have a knee tap there. That jammer is taking a beating, but their offense is really doing the work out there to try and help them get through. Diamond is struggling at the back. The Pixies pivot re-enters the track, and it's just another speed bump to try and get over. But that fight, you know, you got to say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the fight in the dog. These kids are ferocious and athletes, and oh no, we have the jammer going to the box, so we have now a power jam for the Pixies and lead.
Because Black Diamond did establish lead jammer, so now we have oh no, they didn't. Sugar and Spice got lead jammer.
Yeah, a lot of work for no lead, but it won't have to go the full 2 minutes. The Pixies are in control of this jam. We still have the jammer in the box, so the Pixies are capitalizing on this moment to be able to play offense and isolate members of the Devils' defense. Oh, a good takeout there by number 82, the pivot. In that case, the jammer didn't actually have to go behind number 82 because 82 did go down, so that initiator was null. The Pixies jammer, though, took the smart move and went back behind to make sure that the other blocker with the initiator couldn't draw the cut. It was a very smart move.
Yes, because we have seen the skaters question whether they were able to move forward and get called for a cut track, so that's very smart to make sure.
And that's really the only penalty that you have a yield you can use. That's the one you give yourself. So be cautious. Take that extra second.
All right, so it looks like Ace Hardscare is out there on a power jam for about a few seconds. Black Diamond has been released from the box, but immediately takes a hit from Firecracker. Black Diamond is fighting through there. Ace is not through there yet. Ace is trying to go around the outside.
Oh, and a star pass to number 13. Kind of sneaky, stuck in the back, but the Pixies are declared lead, so now the pivot, Rebel Scum, is going to fight against all these different skaters. We've got a bit of defense happening there at the front, but the Pixies do skate on through for a 4-point pass. And we have number 313. You know, I thought there was a star pass in there.
It looks like Black Diamond still got it. A little gamesmanship going on. Black Diamond gets up in there. We'll see if they get any points for that.
You know, a little bit of razzle-dazzle. No points added, but definitely if we're going for deception, they rolled a 20 on that one.
There you go. All right, folks, we got 2.5 minutes left in this half. Quick reminder, when the half is over, We will have 15 minutes of quiet time to reflect on what we did right and wrong today. But more importantly, leave the bathrooms for the skaters as they skate off for the first few minutes of the half.
Out on the jammer line, we have number 108. That is Tiger Strike going up against 8, Powerhouse. And as soon as I can get the words out of my mouth, Powerhouse is your lead jammer. Coming around for that scoring pass, we've got a scrum wall. That jammer, number 108, is fighting so hard, throwing shoulders and looking for some offense from their wall. But the Pixies are quick to reform and isolate. But those shoulders, I'm telling you, that kid is fighting so hard, and the pack's stuck there on turn 1, moving maybe inches. Powerhouse coming through for another scoring pass, looking to the bench and asking what to do, and told to call it. We're seeing a lot of these 1-2 passes and a no initial from the other team. That nickel and dime strategy.
And that's a way to win Derby. Score and don't let the other people score. Simple as that.
I mean, I personally love seeing a good 24-point power jam or, things like that. But all methods are valid here.
Just like every body type is acceptable in Derby and has a position, every strategy has a time. So here we go. It's Periwinkle up against Karma. Karma gets the pack to separate, has one more to beat and gets around. Karma is loose and flying.
When we have whistles galore going out in the pack, I'm not seeing anyone leave, but I'm hearing the refs yelling. It looks like a penalty is being assessed to both a Devils and a Pixies blocker. And another toe stop has gone flying into the ref lane. Vonnie narrowly avoiding death there by toe stop.
That is a bad death.
Yeah, Powerhouse going to the box. So that's one less blocker. There's a contingent of 3 that number 07, Periwinkle, is fighting against. The pack picks up a little bit of speed. The jammer for Pixies trying to play defense, but taken out with a beautiful hit by Rebel Scum. We've got a Devils and a Pixies blocker re-entering the track, so we're going back to 3 on 4. But just as I say that, the announcer's curse, we have number 888 going to the box for the Devils. Little bit of fancy footwork happening there. The jammer really testing those links. Their blockers are trying to help get them through, but in this skill matchup, it is hard to gain headway.
Looks like the Pixies wanted to have it called off. Oh, we ran out of time. I thought we might have had a few seconds to get to another jam in.
Neither team used
disappeared. I'm sure it turned into a puke bucket.
Probably. Your kid was probably the one puking.
Usually. But since she does that for swimming events, baseball, tennis, we're just used to it.
I'm like that too. In high school and junior high, I had the nickname Vomit Comic because I eat before and after every event.
Yeah, her swim coach will say, "Did you throw up yet?" And she's like, "No." He goes, "Go lighten up."
Is she where she's right afterwards?
All right, folks, we're just about 20 seconds away from the second half of Derby action. We've got the Spokane Valley Pixies up against the Boulder County Devils. 117 to score of 5. We're going to go ahead and play the rest of this.
Each of the teams has used one of their timeouts. They get 3 per game, and those don't renew at the half. So 2 timeouts. Some clock stoppages might be very strategically relevant in this half.
I did not know that timeouts don't renew it by the half. Thank you. You just taught me
Yeah,
something
they
brand
do
new.
not. The official reviews do, but you get 3 timeouts per game, and that's it for each side.
Well, there you go. I've been up here for 9 years now, and I just found something new. That's the beauty of roller derby.
Out on the jam line to get this second half started, we've got number 07, Periwinkle, going up against number 8, Powerhouse. We hear Wham give the 5-second call. We've got a bit of a micro pack, not a tiny pack, but moving backwards and absorbing that Periwinkle jammer. Powerhouse is now out in your lead jammer. We see the Boulder County Devils coming back to play offense and try and help Periwinkle out of this stuck spot. But beautiful lateral blocking there from Lil Miss Savage and number 1849, Gold Rusher. A break to the inside, knocked out, and another drawback. It looks like close to being at that out of play at the back. Gives Periwinkle a little chance to gain some speed coming up. Stymied on the outside line by Lil Miss Savage as Powerhouse comes through for another 4-point pass.
The penalty box is clear. Both teams are at full strength now.
We've got Powerhouse here it looks almost like playing with the other skaters, and there's a bit of a dog pile. Number 82 getting stepped on a little bit. Powerhouse using one of their blockers as a human battering ram and through for another 4 points. This is a 12-point jam so far in this half.
Abby Normal was taking a beating in there, got handed around, and everybody, I think, took a swing at Abby. She bounced right back up. It seems to be no worse for the wear and continues blocking.
So now that we're in the second half, there is a rule that is used in juniors that a score differential comes into play with how the gameplay style changes. So in this case, we're probably not going to see so much of the nickel and diming by the Pixies. We're going to see these big point run-ups. We're at 20 points right now for the Pixies, and still the initial pass for Twinkle Toes, who took the pass from Periwinkle. Try and say that 5 times fast. Winkle, winkle, winkle over here.
Too many winkles make a waddle.
Powerhouse coming around for another scoring pass, already with 24 on the board in this first jam of the second half. A pirouette to the inside on one toe stop backwards, another 4 points, and the jam expires. We've got a 28-point jam there for Powerhouse and the Pixies, and we have no points added, but a great effort by the Devils.
All right, it looks like the live feed might be down right now. I'm not too sure. On my end, it's down.
You know, honestly, if you can't see the feed, make up your own narrative. This is your own adventure. We've got out on the line number 108. That is Tiger Strike out against, I can't see them. This
Sugar
is
and Spite.
Sugar and Spite. Okay, I haven't seen this jammer out there as much. It's been during your, looks like we might have had a little bit of a stumble, slowed them down. But Sugar and Spite is out as your lead jammer. And sneaking there on the inside, taking advantage of an opening, our Tiger Strike friend here on the Devils is out on a scoring pass as well. We have Sugar and Spite furiously calling it off from the inside, making sure Tiger Stripe can't sneak any of those points onto the board. The result of that jam being, it looks like a 0-0 jam. We haven't seen really very many of those in this game so far. The score is 145 Pixies, 5 Boulder County Devils.
All right, they're both sliding it around. Looks like we've got, it is Black Diamond going up against Little Miss Savage. I was misreading that for a minute. It looked like some other name. Little Miss Savage wasting no time, gets out of there first. Coming around hard and fast, not going to cut any speed as they come in there. Slide sideways, and there we go. They get through there.
That was some astounding footwork on the inside, a bit of a fake. You know, I don't know how they stayed on their skates, but they did.
And Rebel Scum doing a good, is that number 13, Rebels? No. 13 is Glitter Bomb, is holding back.
You know, it's confusing. We've got a 3-1-3 out there. That's your current jammer, Black Diamond. But we also have a 1-3, which is Rebel Scum. And they look nothing alike. But the fact is, at a glance, you're trying to figure out who is out there fighting. We have a star pass to the pivot, it looks like. That is number 888, Ace of Blades. So far, we have a 16-point jam for the Pixies. And it looks like Lil Miss Savage coming through on the outside lane for another scoring pass. 20 points on the jam for the Pixies, bringing their total to 165. We've still got another scoring pass, unseen, untouched on that inside. We've got all of the Devils blockers trying to help get their jammer out of the pack, which is what you want to be doing here. You know, you want to stop the bleeding, and how you do that is getting your jammer or the star on the pivot out of the pack.
Yeah, they are certainly all devoted to offense right now, trying to spring their jammer. But Little Miss Savage is just soaking up the time, and now up to 28 points.
32.
32, I blinked.
You did. And, you know, we actually saw the most defense against Lil Miss Savage was actually coming from her own players. We had her run into the back of number 8, Powerhouse. Little bit of confusion, but still sliding on through. We have one more point being assessed to that pass. So we have a 33-point jam for the Pixies, bringing them to 178. And the Devils are hanging out at 5.
Big hit right there at the end as Powerhouse put a big old hit.
Living up to his namesake for certain.
On number Ace of Blades there. And now we have an official timeout.
We have a little bit of a switch out there. The jam timer coming over to talk to the scorekeepers. We have one of our zebras filling in there.
I think it was who's in charge? Me.
This game is going to continue. Out on the line, we have number 07, Periwinkle, going up against 222, Karma for the Pixies. And, ooh, Periwinkle out front, a beautiful spin move. But the Pixies jammer Karma does slide on through and steal lead, and we have a power jam for the Pixies. Number 07, Periwinkle, going to the box.
Not what Boulder needed. They needed the power jam the other way, but Karma's going to make hay out there while the sun is shining. Karma making sure that they don't get a cut track penalty, they cycle back.
I mean, if we're putting out our wish lists, you know, we don't have lottery here in Utah, but we could wish for some snow right now. We have another 4 points being added to the board here, going to the Pixies. Their total is 182, and we've got a blocker going to the box for the Devils, which when there's a blocker in the box, those are what we call ghost points. So for every time that jammer comes around, if there's a blocker in the box, once they pass one opposing blocker, they get those ghost points from the box also. It really doubles up the value of that first blocker you pass. Through for another pass. As we say, Karma's got 4 more, bringing it to 12-point jam for the Pixies so far. With Periwinkle still fighting it out in that pack. The offense is trying to help, and, you know, when you're so focused on the offense, the defense does suffer some, and it looks like just skating laps out here for the Pixies, but I have to commend those Boulder County Devils for really pulling together and trying to get that jammer out of there. Oh, and we had a really smart drawback there by Rebel Scum, pulling a cut on the Pixies jammer Karma, so we have a power jam in favor of the Devils. This is what we want to see.
And this is what they needed right here, folks. And Periwinkle wastes no time and gets on out of there.
Periwinkle only has about 8 seconds on this jam. Hopefully can score a couple of points. We hear the Pixies coaches yelling for them to run it so that they can get away and not have any points stolen. But we're waiting for the hand to go. We have 1 point added for the Devils.
All right, that's what we want to see. Now the Devils are going to get a power start. Yep, because the Karma's still in the box, but they are standing, so they're going to be only in there a few seconds.
Oh, we have the Boulder County Devils calling for an official review on that last jam. We'll let you know once we find out what they're hoping to review. But official reviews are an integral part of our game. You know, you can find something to challenge and say, I think that wasn't a cut, or justify it. And in some cases, it can actually overturn penalties for jammers, which is a huge consequential thing to happen in a game.
Yeah, the thing I like about it is, once again, it proves that these referees don't come in with an ego, because it's more important to get the call right than to say, I got all the calls right. And that's what I respect. I know my daughter tried to call an official review in the middle of a basketball game. The referees did not like that very much.
You mean they didn't want to be challenged on their rules?
No, they didn't want to be challenged at all. So at least these referees will get together, they'll go over and they'll say, hey, what did you see? What did you see? And if they find the evidence to overturn or add a penalty, they certainly will. And then the person who missed it doesn't get an ego blow because they're like, oh, okay, I just didn't see something.
I mean, who says democracy isn't alive and well in Utah?
Everybody who votes. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I went a different direction.
Little bit of commentary here for folks at home.
Did I register as a Republican so I can vote in the primaries? Yes, I did.
I'm very curious what they're over there in the huddle discussing.
Probably where to go afterwards. I mean, there's a good taco bar at Tacos Lopez. Maybe what tamales are available over at Victor's.
Ooh, Vertical Diner, one of my favorites, and a vegan hotspot here in Salt Lake City. Fun fact, we are actually one of the vegan hotspots in the country that are known for having a huge variety of vegan restaurants, which for some of us is a huge bonus to living here.
I am impressed. When we moved here about 18 years ago, it was nothing but chain restaurants and fast food. And Utah has really stepped up its game where you have a lot of really good food out there. It's not vegetables on a plate. It's a true vegetarian restaurant or a true vegan restaurant. And the same thing with everything else. I mean, the further east you get in Utah, the more westernized the food is. But when you get out west, it's ethnic food all over the place. And I'm really impressed with Utah has kicked up its food game.
It most certainly has. I do miss food truck festivals in New York City, but honestly, some of the ones here have given a couple a run for their money.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to compare Utah to San Francisco or New York or things like that. But I'll tell you, they're giving it everything they got because there are a lot of little restaurants opening all over the place. And if you're not a good restaurant here, you're not going to last very long.
Well, and speaking of good restaurants, if you're looking for a nice slice, stopping by Pie Pizzeria, one of our sponsors, you're going to get some really delicious pizza. And I've heard they have some awesome vegan options as well.
Yeah, the Pie Pizzeria has been taking care of us for years, providing us with free pies and things like that. And quite honestly, It's one of the better pizza. It is one of the best pizzas in Utah. It's the best chain. You might be able to go to like Snowmobile and get a better slice sometimes or things like that. But consistently, time after time, any pie you drop into is going to be an excellent pizza.
And the fact that they're supporting local roller derby in our community, that now more than ever it's important to patronize the restaurants that share our values and share what we love in this community. Support small business, support local roller derby.
That's it, and that's what the pie is. So we always make sure we support them. And another big shout out to, of course, Einstein Bagels and Lori Tolbert's Catering, supplying us with all the food. I just saw another wave of food coming in for the referees and officials, so we'll see what's going on. I mean, gosh, we had a taco bar earlier that was to die for, and now we'll see what else they're bringing us. But we do appreciate Lori Tolbert Catering for showing up.
We're here for the food, really. We're not here to officiate. Roller derby's great, but we are here for some of that delicious catering that you just don't have an occasion to get sometimes.
It's all the free snacks.
It sounds like the official review was not retained. We don't know what the content of the review was, but the Boulder County Devils are going to lose their official review for this half, meaning the only clock stoppages they have remaining are 2 timeouts. We have a power start to begin this right back from official timeout, or official review, rather. We have number 108 out there on the jam line. That is Tiger Strike. And the pack takes off at speed. It almost looks like the starts of a USARS game. And, really trying to work through, being drawn back. And the Pixies jammer has been released from the box. A bit of beautiful offense there from Little Miss Savage. And, a brutal hit. Into the wall. That wall is almost like a fifth blocker here. You've got a narrow ref lane and high, fast flying skaters. We've got number 222 out. That is your lead jammer. That is Karma scoring points for the Pixies. But I got to tell you, watching Tiger Strike fight in the pack, small, fierce skaters. Oh, and we have a star pass to number 82 behind the pack. That's Twinkle Toes. You really want to try and pass that star when they're out in front, because otherwise they're going to have to go against that same brutal wall you've been fighting this whole time. And going over the back of number 8 Powerhouse, 82 falling back up and engaging with that wall, star in hand.
And you could tell right now 82 is suffering. They're sucking it up. They are hurt, or at least they have a pain somewhere, but they're just going to keep that star in their hand and are going to keep plowing forward. They're taking a beating out there.
And it looks like there may have been some illegal contact happening there that knocks 82 to the ground. It looks like there may have been a head tap here. I'm seeing the officials call it. I would recommend that skater go get checked out by our fantastic medic crew, because they're being hugged by their whole team over there. We are lucky to have wonderful medics here to help support roller derby. Whether it's you need a Band-Aid, you need a Tylenol, or if you need a concussion test, or if you need just somebody to check you out, our medics are there to support you. Sujo, they need to have their head checked. They hit it on the ground. I saw them. I worry. That head hit looks not nice. Sujo. I wanted them. Are they gonna check that skater's head? They hit their head into a skater and the ground.
They're doing a concussion
8-2.
check on the bench, which is not enough.
Black
They,
They're holding up
they
fingers.
need to do a full concussion
Yeah,
check.
they need to send him over to the box. Yeah, no, that's not acceptable.
He's like, at least it's Rails doing it, right? Or
No,
is it?
no,
Oh,
it's not.
not.
Even I don't care who it is on the bench. It's not, but they can go sit for 3.
I'm gonna go talk to him. show symptoms until the next day anyway, but you don't want to risk it with kids or adults for that matter.
That's the problem. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to spot a concussion. No, if they're slurring their words right afterwards, that's a major head injury.
Yes.
That's not a little concussion.
That's traumatic brain injury that needs to be actually, you need to go to the hospital. It's not just a bit of whiplash that you're going to feel tomorrow. You know that. I mean, when you have the tournament, Valley did, they had Zerk out on a stretcher because she got knocked unconscious. And it's just like, that's terrifying. She's like, well, I've had depression lots of times. It's like, oh, geez. In the box. I did want to to tell our listeners at home here and in the depot that we do have number 82 there getting a full concussion check from our medics. We appreciate the attention to detail and everyone making sure we can have a fun, supportive, safe sporting environment here at the Derby Depot. All right, after that bit of a clock stoppage, we have number 13, Rebel Scum, out there against number 26. That is Sugar and Spite. And Sugar and Spite is your lead jam, a Rebel Scum fighting on the inside. You might notice a little change to the lineups here. We've been seeing Powerhouse out there a lot for the Pixies, and it looks like they are no longer in this game. So we're going to have to see how their team adjusts to having one of their standards not out there to hold down that wall. Rebel Scum still fighting against the back of the pack, backing up, getting a little bit of speed, untouched on the inside except for by their own blockers. We have Sugar and Spite coming around for their second scoring pass. 8 points on the board so far for this jam for the Pixies. Rebel Scum getting offense, but blockers just not being effective against those strong walls, and you're trying to split that attention between your jammer and the blocker, but we've got some really good hip flips by Rebel Scum, getting out of the pack and on scoring. Can we hear it for Rebel Scum whooping up the crowd? Points or not, that is what we want to see. The crowd and the kids getting energized here at the Derby Depot. Some hugs on the bench. Oh, you love to see that.
All right, Boulder, we have a shout out from Spider Slam and Dire Wolf. Go, Boulder, go. All right, Gold Rusher comes out there against 07. That is Periwinkle. Not sure what color that actually is, but here we go.
It is a lovely shade of blue.
Gold Rusher cuts to the inside. Gold Rusher powers right through, leans down and goes forward. Gets up to third gear, quickly coming back around. Periwinkle still fighting there with Karma. Periwinkle cycles back in. Gold Rusher takes a big hit from number 108 as they send him to the ground. That's David versus Goliath. Sometimes David wins, sometimes Goliath wins. So here we go. Gold Rusher's back around.
One of these kids may have a slingshot in their back pocket. You just never know.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that come out. Gold Rusher's got his first 8, looking for more. Periwinkle's yet to break containment. They're trying everything they can, telling stories, joking, sliding, everything they can to try to get out of there. The Pixies doing a good job, shorthanded, holding them back.
And just so you say it, we see a beautiful spin move from Periwinkle, getting out on that initial pass and now coming around for a scoring, flying around that apex.
Nothing stops that soft blue color.
I mean, it's like the sky. It goes on forever and it keeps going.
It's everywhere.
We're seeing a lot of hugs and excitement here over for the Devils, and I love seeing this. You can be losing or winning a game, but as long as you're learning and having a good time, that's what we're here for.
That's it. And all these kids, they put in a ton of time, and you look at the score and you think, oh, it's a blowout. But no, these kids still want to play Derby. I guarantee you there's not a single one of these Boulder teams who would say, oh, let's quit and go home. They want to play the full bout.
Oh, 100%. And a huge hit there. Number 313, Black Diamond fighting through the pack. Little Miss Savage, number 3 for the Pixies, has lead jammer. And, they're not covering that inside line as well as they could. The Pixies are scoring points, lapping. But, I love that these Boulder County kids are out there trying to get their jammer out. They know what their priority is. Yeah, the score is going to run up, but the fact is you need to get that star out of the pack. We see some really strong line work happening there from Black Diamond. And up against one more, we got Trisket holding back. We have Little Miss Savage still skating around. Another 4-point pass, bringing their score on this one to 12 points. We're seeing the pivot, number 108, Tiger Strike, trying to move those blockers and successful there. Oh, wonderful, wonderful move. Black Diamond is out on a scoring pass. That was a beautiful move by Tiger Strike.
Bug put a big hit on Little Miss Savage. They thought they were going to get through cleanly, and Bug slid over there and said, you shall not pass. Then they passed.
I mean, it doesn't specify what kind of bug is here, but it looked a bit like a spider's web catching that jammer.
I heard the prehistoric bugs were pretty scary. Maybe it's one of those.
Big old dragonfly. Out on the line, we have number 14. That is Striking Viking. And we have number 888, Ace of Blades. Valkyrie going around that outside, taking a tumble. There was a beautiful hit there from the Boulder County pivot. But Viking is your lead jammer. We have a star pass going off to Periwinkle. Still behind the pack, but it was a very clean, smooth star pass.
And Viking, we got a shout out from Mama Viking saying, go, go, go.
That's such a beautiful weaving move. We've got the jammer, Periwinkle, now, putting it on, getting a bit of a running start, shoving Karma, but then being taken down by Gold Rusher. That is not a wall you want to go against, especially if you're the pivot. And, you may be a little tired already.
I think they have the star on inside out, though.
Oh, yeah,
that
is a problem. I mean, they haven't made it on their initial, but a thing you need to know about Derby is if you don't have that star on the right way out and showing, you are not eligible to score points. You really have to have it that way. Like I said, for this one, it doesn't matter because they're not scoring yet, but hopefully as they come around, someone can shout to them, hey, turn your helmet cover around. It's a big incentive to buy double-sided helmet covers.
That's a solve right there. I certainly have seen it enough times where the heat is going and the excitement, and you do not realize you can't see your helmet cover.
Well, and you're like, you get through, and they're like, oh, they let me through. And it's like, for nothing, just to come back around and meet the wall, just like Viking is about to do, coming around. 20 points so far on this jam and going to engage with the pack. We see a bit of a speed check and some 2-on-2 work there. A big, big, nice hit by number 888, Ace of Blades, temporarily slowing Viking down, but Striking Viking is your lead jammer with 5 seconds left and 24 points on the board. And the jam expires, comes to its natural end after 2 minutes of endurance.
Pixies have clearly adjusted their strategy to avoid the shutout rule or the mercy rules. But Boulder hasn't quit fighting.
No, they haven't. And I don't think it's going to be until that last whistle. They are going to keep fighting and keep in this game. We have about 12 and a half minutes left going into jam 10 of the second half.
Sugar and Spike coming out against Tiger Strike. They both go to the inside. Sugar and Spike gets cycled out by number 13. I think that's Rebel Scum over there doing an excellent job. They've been blocking most of the day. Seems like we've called their name several times when somebody's involved in blocking.
They have earned these shout-outs. These are some very solid, smart blockers. And, honestly, not terribly penalty heavy, which is a major benefit of having them on the track.
Yeah, if you have a smallish team and they're not racking up penalties, you're doing okay.
You know, I once went a whole season without a penalty. It was a weird year, but never scored the kind of points we're seeing here on this game. We have 8 points so far on the jam for the Pixies. I'm sorry, 4 single scoring pass so far, but coming around, we have the jammer isolated. It looks like the pivot may have actually taken a star pass. That's number 13, Rebel Scum, fighting at the front. They're showing the star, making sure the refs can see it. They're handing it back to the jammer because it looks like it wasn't a completed star pass. So the pivot is not the jammer. The original jammer, Tiger Strike, is the jammer of record for Boulder County.
Well,
we have Tiger Strike going to the box for a low block.
It looks like that the pivot does have the star in their hand.
They must have handed it back again,
Yep.
which is what you can do. You just both have to touch it, and then it passes. And the jam is called off by the Pixies, a 20-point jam, bringing the total to 310 Pixies, 6 Devils.
We got 10 and a half minutes left in this game. Right afterwards, 5:45-ish, we will start the last game of the evening. It'll be the Colorado Major Avalanche going up against your very own Wasatch Juniors.
That's going to be a game you'll want to stick around and watch. We have a bit of a false start happening here, and the jam didn't. This was the jam that didn't. We've got the refs and our jam timer discussing things. It's a good thing, too, though, because we actually had a blocker behind the jam line who would have been issued a false start penalty.
And the Pixies have a full box over there. They've only got 2 blockers and no jammer out there. Now we see the Pixies head coach out there calling, I'm going to guess, a timeout.
I mean, is it really a box half full or a box half empty kind of situation here? You can have up to 3 blockers in there as long as one of them is standing, plus the jammer. Theoretically, you can just have that one blocker on the track, and they can even be in the queue for the box. And, you know, it can just be a rotating carousel of sin bin penalties.
I see them expanding the box in the near future so you can hold 4 players, because that's the way hockey does it. You could have everybody off but the goalie.
You know, we actually... Bank track, you have to have a pivot and a jammer, or I'm sorry, a blocker out there at all times, which switching from that and back to this, it's really interesting because you'll see that one lone blocker out there defending for their entire track. They can't take a star pass. They can't do any of these things. And sometimes you see some incredible one-on-one work that they get to really show off in these moments.
All right, lining up is going to be Black Diamond, going to go head-to-head with Ace Hardscare.
We've seen Black Diamond out there quite a bit. This kid is tough as nails. Diamonds are the hardest substance on the most scale, but I think Black Diamond over here might have them beat.
Exactly. Now two Pixies in the box. They start getting blockers back, but doesn't matter because Black Diamond gets, or Ace Hardscare gets out first. Ace is around and coming back in there. Meanwhile, the Pixies are getting their blockers back to help them out. Gold Rusher doing a good job holding back Black Diamond. He's got friends out there now. Ace getting in there, maneuvering and weaving around. Boulder drops back to try to help spring their jammer.
We see some beautiful offensive work there from Tiger Strike, trying to keep Gold Rusher away from that jammer. Not entirely successful, but honestly, the size differential, packing a huge punch is that Tiger Strike. It's incredible to see. You know, it doesn't matter what your size is. It doesn't matter how old you are, how heavy, tall, short. There is a place for everybody in this sport, and when you can learn to use your individual skill set, it's just a beautiful thing that you don't see in every sport.
Right, it's just about adapting your body type to the sport.
Coming around for another scoring pass, we have Ace Hardscare coming around. They have 12 points on the jam so far. It looks like the pivot has taken a pass and is out of the pack, but oh no, it looks like we have a track cut. That toe stop must have touched out on the outside bounds, and we have a power jam for the Pixies. And we have a hard rough and tumble hit there. Tiger Strike holding that inside line, forcing the Pixies jammer to recycle and actually call the jam, which was a very solid choice. At the end of that jam, we have the score sitting at 326 Pixies, 6 Boulder County Devils. I stand corrected. There were 2 more points added after I said that, so 328 Pixies, 6 Devils.
White jammer and 000 white.
All right, Karma comes out there for the Pixies. They're in a power jam situation. Karma goes to the inside, gets cut off there by Rebel Scum. Tries the outside. Guess who's there? Rebel Scum again.
And can't forget to mention 57 Bug out there helping double team.
Rebel Scum did what they could to slow down Karma. Karma does catch up with you, though. And Karma comes in at full speed, cutting no speed, as you do not have to do that in Travel Team Junior Derby.
And Periwinkle comes out of the box and is immediately jumping and jiving and really working those lateral angles against that Pixies wall with a little bit of help from her own teammates.
We hear the shouts from the bench that play together.
We hear a bevy of whistles coming. We have number 000 Trisket, the pivot for the Pixies, going to the box, which allows Periwinkle to kind of sneak on through and is now on a scoring pass. We hear calls of call it from the Pixies bench, denying any points to the Devils, adding another 12 to the Pixies total. We have 6.5 minutes left in this game.
Ace of Blades coming out there for the Devils. Gold Rusher coming out there for the Pixies. They both look at each other, exchange smiles and hearts.
There's a little, that was so cute. I love the sportsmanship between kids in this sport. Just because they're on opposing teams doesn't mean they aren't friends.
And there we go. Gold Rusher breaks through the pack first. Ace of Blades is trying to cut through there. Gold Rusher coming around, getting low around the pack. And now Ace of Blades is loose.
You know, honestly, Ace of Blades is tearing up that track. They came around with so much speed. They checked it a little bit. They're checking it coming into the pack, almost getting into scoring position, but wisely called by Gold Rusher.
Yep. And Ace of Blades is playing double duty out there by being a major blocker and a major jammer.
And it looks like we had, at the end of that jam, Radar, one of our refs on the outside, saw a penalty, and I can't see who it is. I think it's 108, Tiger Strike in the box, which is going to give a starting differential. You know what, though? It actually balances. It looks like, no. We actually have a full contingent out there for the Pixies and a bit of a micro pack out there for Boulder County, which is not what you want to have when you have such a strong jammer like Striking Viking coming through. You honestly need all the stopping power and strength you can muster. Fortunately, penalties are only 30 seconds, so that blocker will be out there soon to help. A bridged back pack, making sure that, you know, the jammer, Rebel Scum, waiting, watching to come in, not wanting to go too far back, forcing the no pack call, and forcing everybody to move in tandem. You know, it was honestly a smart move to see Rebel Scum do that. I wouldn't say time is on their side, but they avoided getting that cut track call, and that is the key there.
And we got a directional on that last one. A big hit was absorbed by number 108, but that got a penalty, so that's helping their team out.
Striking Viking now coming into the pack, colliding with 108 Tiger Strike, who is now playing one-on-one defense up at the front. Viking does get through, but not without a little bit of challenge from Tiger Strike. Rebel Scum still working on that initial pass. You know, those walls are so ferocious, and 2 minutes may seem like a short amount of time, but you try pushing a wall like that for 2 minutes, and I promise you, you're going to be feeling it in the morning.
Not only are you pushing a wall, but that wall is pushing back on you.
That is, yeah, we can't forget that. It's not just a wall of bricks. It is a wall of humans who are dead set on making you feel the pain. Out there we have 3-1-3 Black Diamond against 1-3. That is Glitter Bomb. Glitter Bomb is your lead jammer, but Black Diamond sneaking past Gold Rusher on the inside, picking up speed and going for a chase. They are coming flying around this track, and we've got two Pixie blockers at the back of the pack, a small Apex hop. And did they pick up any points? Waiting for the refs to hold up their hands. The suspense is killing me. We did have the full 4 added for the Pixies, but we have the refs over here conferring to see, was Black Diamond able to pick up any points on that jump?
Yeah, Noah was real quick to throw up his 4 fingers. I have not seen Colin throw up his, so we'll see what they're going. Oh, there we go, Vonnie.
No points, it looks like, are being awarded. So one of the things with Apex jumps, they're a risky thing. You have multiple parts that have to go right for you to get those points. You have to take off in bounds, and you have to land in bounds. But the thing is, one of your feet has to touch the ground before you face plant or fall. So it looks like those criteria weren't met, so there were no points. And out there, Trisket is your lead jammer for the Pixies. Periwinkle out there fighting against the backpack, getting a little bit of offensive help from Rebel Scum. And Trisket putting on the afterburners, flying around, adding 4 points. As we see a big recycle from Karma on Periwinkle. You know, in Derby, your position is measured by your hips. So really, that jammer being smart to put their hips back as they come in. But, oh, we have a power jam happening here for Boulder County. This is a chance for the wall to really help Periwinkle get out of there. Who here in the crowd is here to cheer for the Devils? The louder you cheer, the faster they skate. So really support these kids. We got Periwinkle fighting through the pack. A lot of small offensive moves. It looks like Periwinkle might be feeling a little bit of the fatigue, but with help, with a little help from your friends.
A lot of big hitting still going on. Nobody knows the game's out of reach. They're going to keep going out there as hard and fast as they can. Release from the box is Trisket. Comes out a shot out of a cannon. Already made his initial pass. So now they're just scoring. He's come around. He's got 4. He's looking for more.
I do have to commend the Devils. I did hear one of their blockers yell that the jammer was coming. So really good awareness of what's happening on the track. Even if you can't get there with your feet, communicating it to your teammates is so important. And a big jammer on jammer hit there. We hear them cheering for Periwinkle over here, shouting, Perry, Perry. I was wondering what Barry did to get cheered for, but Periwinkle is out there giving it her all and really showing that tenacity.
And I thought it was Perry Perry, the Indian dish, so I wasn't sure.
You know, it could be Perry the Platypus. There's a lot of Perrys we could be referencing here.
I do remember Perry the Platypus.
Remember? You make it seem like you don't still watch it. You love Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, if it was on, I would watch it. But Cartoon Network is no more. Thus, I'm stuck on reruns or the tapes I have.
What's a tape?
That's what my daughter said when she found all the VHSs.
It looks like this is going to be our last jam in this game. Out there, number 26, Sugar and Spite is your lead jammer. But out on the inside is Tiger Strike, putting on the afterburners and trying to chase. Great outside hit there from 888, doing a little bit of a dance and stumbling, but Ace of Blades really covering that outside line and preventing an easy scoring pass from the Pixies.
It looked like Sugar and Spite did not want to call that off. They waited a second. We'll wait for the rolling whistle to come on out, so hang on just a second.
Once we have that final whistle, we'll have our in-house spectators be able to come and high-five these incredible athletes.
All right, there it is. Come on out to the gray track, folks. We're going to send these two teams around to high-five you and share some DNA. And hopefully after these two teams got 2 games in them, they smell a little extra special, and you get to take them home.
Did you have to bring up the DNA? My goodness. So at this final score, we have the score at 385 for the Pixies and 8 for the Devils. we're going to be going offline, but the next game up is going to be Denver versus Wasatch. It'll be the final game of the night, and one that you certainly don't want to lose your seat for. Thank you to both teams. Thank you to our officials, our medics, and our volunteers. We'll see you at the next game.
All right, and here we go. Your winners of the night's game are the Pixies, Triscuit, Glitter Bomb, Striking Viking, Gold Rusher, Karma, Sugar and Spice, Firecracker, Little Miss Savage, Ace Hard Scare, Powerhouse, and Brutal Beauty. Those are your Pixies.
And for the Devils, we had Periwinkle, Rebel Scum, Doodlebug, Hitty Stardust, Bug, Twinkle Toes, Tiger Strike, Black Diamond, Abby Normal, Valkyrie, and Ace of Blades.
All right, folks, it looks like the next game's going to start at 6 o'clock, not the 5:45 time. We're going to give both these two teams time to warm up. We're going to give the announcers time to go potty, and we'll go from there. See you back in a little bit, folks, 30 minutes.